Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Smash Up expansion unboxing / component video. This is another fun set called Oops, You Did It Again. So this is a sequel set to the It's Your Fault, where they did a giant poll and had brackets and stuff in competition to see who the fans wanted. These were the top 4 results. I think these were also like some of the 4 top ones that were in the original poll too. Yeah, so these are ones fans voted on. That's why it's a little bit more of a mismatch. There's not like a general theming of it. So we can see what everyone wanted. So if you're not familiar with how the game works, you haven't watched all the other videos, check them out. But each team, or each player gets 2 factions of cards, 2 different teams. You mash them together. You play your minions, your actions on the bases. To score points, you get 15 points. You win, so you mash 2 decks together. You can get Ancient Egyptian Cowboys, for example. Once you get 15 VIP tokens, you win the game. Tokens in this set are going to have cowboy hats and mummy bandages. So they come with little tokens. I just don't have the physical tokens out right now. There's actually some new rules in this game, which are a little bit different. So they're going to have burying. And duels. So I'll go over them when I get to those cards. But let's look at who our 4 different factions are. We have Ancient Egyptians, Cowboys, the Samurai, and the Vikings. Alright, so let's hop in here. We'll start looking at some of these, and then we can look at those other cards. So we're going to start off with the Mummies, who are going to have the bury effect. We got 4 Ancient Egyptians, but we got Mummies first. It's ongoing. After this base scores, you may bury this minion on another base. So then let's look up what bury does really quick. How to bury a card. To bury a card, place it face down beside a base facing you. Don't shoot the other players unless it says to bury itself. You may only bury a card if it allows. Status. A buried card is not affected by abilities that target minions, actions, or other card types. They are affected by abilities that target cards, though. A buried card is controlled by the player who buried it. Players who look at buried cards at control at any time, but may only look at them one at a time and may not mix them. So if you place 3 of them down, you can look at the top one, then the middle one, and then the bottom one, but you can't shuffle them back together. Like, order matters. A buried card's ability may not be triggered until after it is uncovered. Uncovering. Each player may uncover one of their buried cards at the start of their turn. A player may also uncover a card when ability allows it. When it's uncovered, player plays it as an extra card. It's either played on the same base or on minion on that base, or simply resolved and discarded, depending on what it is. It's just resolved as it's played in the card. Buried cards themselves do not have power, nor the presence to help break or win a base. After a base scores or leaves play for any reason, buried cards still go to their discard piles. Madness cards that are buried at the end of the game still count. That's what burying does. So let's you play a card face down, and that way you can play it later. So this guy, after a base scores, you can play him on another base, ready to use at the beginning of your turn or a subsequent turn. It's just kind of like a little hidden mechanic effect. And if you start getting multiple, then your opponent might not know what they are. So here we have 3 pyramid engineers. We're going to say you may uncover one of your buried cards here. Talent, bury a card from your hand here. So that you bury a random card. So that way your opponent's not going to know what you have. So it's kind of it's an interesting mechanic. I'm surprised it took this long this many expansion sets to come out with. We have the Priest of Anubis. Ongoing, this minion has +2 power if you have a card buried here. And then of course we're going to have the Pharaoh. Ongoing, after another buried card is uncovered, draw a card. Special, before the base scores, you may uncover one of your buried cards here. So that's going to be their big mechanics, all about burying stuff. So we have a Tomb Trap, 2 copies. Bury this card. Special. When this card is uncovered, you may destroy a minion of 4 power or less here. So it's kind of neat, because then you can bury it, like use your action to play it to bury it, and then like on a later turn you can use it as a free action. We have you can take it with you. Bury this card. Special when this card is uncovered, draw 3 cards. We have one of the explorers. We have Lost Knowledge. Bury a card from your hand or uncover one of your buried cards. Special, you may play this card before a base scores. The Blessings of Anubis. Bury this card. Special, when this card is uncovered, your minions here each gain +2 power until the end of turn. Seal the Tomb. Bury up to 2 cards from your hand on the same base, or uncover up to 2 cards buried on the same base. 2 copies of Ancient Curse. Play on a minion. You may remove a +1 power counter from it. Ongoing, this minion has -2 power. That's actually cool. There haven't been a lot of cards that let you remove power counters. A Plague of Locusts. Choose a base. All other players' minions are get -1 power till the end of turn. Special, you may play this before a base scores. And Mummy Strength. Choose one of your minions. If there is a card buried on its base, it gains 3 power till the end of turn. Otherwise, it gains 2 power till the end of turn. Yeah, the bury effect could be really interesting, especially when you combine it with other sets, and you could hide things from your opponents and play them whenever you need to. Or change some stuff together. So we have Pyramids. On your turn, you may bury a card from your hand here. And we have Star Portal, which is a reference to like Stargate. After a card is buried here or an action is played on the space, its controller draws a card. So those are the Egyptians. That's actually a fun little mechanic. It's one of the things though, I'd say similar if I played Magic the Gathering, like card games like that, where or even like Marvel Legendary, they introduce a mechanic that kind of works for like one character or like one theming set of things, and it's hard sometimes to work that into something else. It's like I'm trying to think like what other like faction you could play that would let you use a buried mechanic. Something like the zombies might work. You bury bury something, it can come back as a zombie or something like that. But to do that, that set's already out, so you have to like rework it. Alright, so now we have the Cowboys, and they're at a duel. This is special. During your turn, or during a duel involving your minion, you may discard this card from your hand to give a minion +2 power till the end of turn. So let's look at what dueling does. When 2 minions duel, their controllers may each place a card from their hand on the table face down, then each reveals their card, if any, starting with the challenger. If there is an action, it is played normally, otherwise it is returned to the hand. After dueling, cards are resolved. The minion the minion with the higher power is determined to be the winner. In case of ties, both sides gets all effects of the duel. Benefits of winning or harm of losing are specified by each card in the duel. Details. So in placing a dueling card on the table is optional. The decision placement is first made by the challenger. You may place any card in your hand in a duel, including actions that affect minions outside the duel, or even minions that are just returned to the hand. They make a good bluff. While on the table, dueling cards are not considered part of the hand deck or any of that stuff. 2 duels may not happen at the same time, so if any ability that allows a duel is triggered during a duel, that part of the ability is ignored. During a duel, no other cards may be played, invoked, unless they are allowed to by duel's actions or a card specifies it. Beginning a duel by itself. Being a duel does not itself count as affecting a minion, but the duel's consequences may affect it. So they're showing, these 2 cards are dueling, each player plays a card down, and then they reveal them. If it's an action, they get to use it. If it's a minion, it goes to their hand. So for this one, it says, on your turn or during a duel involving a minion, you can discard this card to give +2 to that minion to the end of turn. So it's an extra effect for that. Alright, next we have our Gunfighter. We have 3 copies of him. This minion may duel another player's minion here. Destroy the losing minion. We have a Pinkerton. for 2 copies. Ongoing, when one of your minions here is in a duel, place a +1 counter on it. And then finally, we have the Sheriff. Special, before this base scores, this minion may duel. Another player's minion may duel another player's minion here. Destroy the losing minion. Alright, let's see what we get for some action cards. They'll help us out. Playing a base. Ongoing. After you play a minion here, draw a card. We have High Noon. 2 copies of that. One of your minions duels another minions on the same base. Destroy the losing minion. If your minion wins, you may play an extra minion there. I love how there's the time traveler in the back here. So he knows what's going to happen. We have 2 copies of Quick Draw. So choose one of your minions. If it's in a duel, it gains 4 power till the end of turn. Otherwise, it gains +2 power till the end of turn. Dynamite Surprise. Special. Before a base scores where you have a minion and are not winning, destroy a minion of 4 power or less there. Special. If another player's card reveals or looks at a card in your hand or deck, destroy one of their minions to the power of 4 or less. He's walking into the TNT with a candle rather than into the bathroom. Run them off. One of your minions duels another player's minions at the same base. The winning minion gains 3 power till the end of your turn. Its controller moves a losing minion to another base. Here we got Form a Posse. Each of your minions gains +1 and cannot be destroyed, moved, or returned to the hand till the end of turn. And we got our Gnome, our T-Rex, our Wizard, our Robots, our Aliens, and our Pirates. So like the base game set. We got Golden Them Thar Hills. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal and draw one of them. You may play it as an extra card, return the rest in any order. And our final action is Stagecoach. Move or transfer up to 2 cards on the same base to another base. Yeah, so they do the duels, a couple of those. Others have some other just interesting effects, a little bit different. Much like the bearing mechanic, the dual mechanic's kind of neat, but it's also one thing where if it doesn't show up in any other set, like any other faction, it's just in one faction, then you're not going to really just see it that often. It'd be I get that like none of the other abilities overlap, but it would have been kind of neat if they had another set that used the dual mechanic, or like kind of like how power counters got used in everything. Like dual could be used in something else. Alright, we have this the So-So Corral, a play on the OK Corral. After you play a minion here, it may duel another player's minion here, destroy the losing minion. And the Saloon. If the minion here is destroyed, each player with a minion here may draw a card. So I'd almost say if I'm not playing with either of these 2 sets, I would probably, either of these 2 factions, I would probably take out the bases out of my stack of bases if I'm just using random bases. I take out the ones that do the varying dueling, just because I don't have to also have like randomly a base pop up and I have to try and remember what just one rule does. Alright, now let's look at the samurai to go against our ninjas. Yep, samurai, which it says right on the card if I just learn how to read. So 4 copies of Samurai Chan. Ongoing. After this minion goes to the discard pile from play, draw a card. 3 copies of a Ronin. If this isn't your only minion here, place a +1 power counter on it. There's a Ronin inside of the Lone Warrior. We have the Bushi. After this minion goes to the discard pile from play, will has 5 or more power, gain +1 VP. So kind of the effect we're getting from these guys is guys going to the discard pile. Ongoing, after another of your minions goes to the discard pile from play, place a +1 counter on this minion. This is our Shogun. So there's gonna be their little their thing. They're gonna if they get destroyed, you gain bonuses. The final haiku. Play on one of your minions. Ongoing. After this minion goes to the discard pile from play, your minions each gain +2 power till the end of turn. Honorable combat. Choose a base where another player has more power than you. One of your minions there duels one of that player's minions there. The controller of the winning minion gains 1 VP. Ooh, so we got another duel card. I like it. So that's saying they can even do something like that. It doesn't need to be like the berry mechanic or the duel mechanic, like that type of thing. It doesn't need to be like the focus of the set. Throw it on a card randomly here or there. You're gonna make a new ability, use it. Yokai attack. Yokai are like demons. It's like the umbrella one there. Destroy one of your minions to play an extra minion and an extra action. 2 copies of Way of the Warrior. Until the end of your turn, one of your minions gains +3 power. If it goes to the discard pile from play, draw a card. Honor the Ancestors. I was going to say, oh, it's like ghost cards. Maybe there's the little ghost girl. Place +1 power counter on one of your minions. For each other player in the game, you may shuffle a minion from your discard pile back into your deck. Honor the Fallen. Playing a base. Ongoing. After one of your minions here goes to the discard pile, draw a card. Code of the Bushido. Place a +1 power counter on up to 3 of your minions. And our final one is Heart of the Vowels. They're fighting a Nosferatu. One of the vampires. Special. Play before a base scores. One of your minion there duels another player's minion there. Destroy the losing minion. I was going to say, I wonder if these guys would work well with the ghosts, but I think the ghosts just focus on discarding, so they're not actually being in play. I'm trying to think. I thought there was another set that liked to destroy their own cards, but I can't think of it right now. Shogun's Palace. After you play a minion here, it may duel another player's minion here. The controller of the winning minion may draw 2 cards. And the Sakura Garden. Each turn, the first time one of your minions here goes to the discard pile, draw a card. Yeah, so that's actually a cool effect. Like, they gain bonuses for dying. So you could utilize that in a good way, sacrificing them for other minions and stuff like destroy your own stuff. Or various things like that. Then we have the Vikings. We have 4 copies of a Huskarl. Talent. Place a card from your hand on the top of your deck to give this minion +2 power until the end of turn. And then we have a Shield Maiden. 3 copies of her. So we're going to say reveal the top card of another player's deck. If it's an action or a minion of 3 power or less, place it in your hand, otherwise return it. Oh, they just steal someone's card. Nice. I mean, Vikings, they're pillaging. Makes sense. Raider. Talent. Place up to 3 cards from your hand on top of your deck. This minion gains +1 power for each one of those until the end of your turn. And finally, we have the Valkyrie. Place a minion from another player's discard pile in your hand. You just steal their dead. Alright, so we're going to have Pillage. And they're attacking the gnomes. It's just funny. Take a random card from another player's hand and place it in yours. 2 copies of Raiding Party. So they're having an actual party. Reveal the top 3 cards of another player's deck. You may play a revealed action or minion, power 4 or less as an extra card. Return the rest in any order. The Viking Funeral. Play on one of your minions of power 5 or more. Ongoing. After this minion goes to a discard pile, gain 1 VP. If you own it, put it back into the box. Oh, so that's actually cool. So, if you steal somebody else's minion, and you play it, after their death, you gain a VP. But then they get their minion back because it doesn't go to your discard pile. But if you own it, it goes back to the box. That's actually a neat effect. We have Ransack. They're ransacking board games at a game store. There's some of the geeks. Place an action on a minion, an action on a base, or bury a card in your hand. Oh, cool. So you get the bury effect again. And this is, I like this now. So you have two sets that focused on buried and duels, and then the other two just touch it. And that's what they should do. Because that way you still get the effect of it without having to, like, have full sets of them. So you have 2 copies of Berserk. Place the top card of your hand. Place a card from your hand on top of your deck. Give one of your minions 3 power till the end of turn. Cast the Ruins. Look at another player's hand. Look at the top 2 cards of their deck and return them in any order. Play an extra action. You should figure out everything that's going on. Combat Training. Each one of your minions gains +1 power till the end of turn. And our final one is Tribute. Draw 3 cards. He's getting it from the Pirates. That might actually be a fun one to try with the Ghost, because the Ghost get better with having less cards in your hand. And this has a lot of stuff where you're putting cards back on your deck, or you're stealing other players' stuff, so you don't need to worry about having your cards. Drakkar. The first time each turn a player plays a minion here, they may reveal the top card of another player's deck. If it's an action or a minion 3 power or less, they may place it into their hand. And then the Longhouse. On your turn, you may play a card from your hand on top of your deck to give one of your minions here +2 power till the end of turn. Alright, yeah, that's, I like that mechanic, like stealing cards. I wonder how they would work with the ignobles, where you're giving your cards away. Yeah, definitely some fun, different stuff there. Doesn't want to focus. There we go. Alright, well, that was Smash Up Oopsie Did It Again fan voted set. 2 brand new mechanics, which are really neat. I know this is one of the later sets, so there's not. So hopefully they keep making expansions. They add more things that might go in there. Or, like I said, I would love to see something like where you could like revisit some of the older sets, and like you could add new cards, or it's like alternate versions of their decks, because like zombies with buried might be neat, or duels. Definitely, there's a lot of different ones that could use to deal with dueling. Be a neat idea. Alright, so see you guys in the next video. Bye.